You know, my favorite part about it, Dave, is how insistent you were that he didn't remember his own joke. You said camera 70 or 80 times
I was desperate.
to try and prove that he was
like,
that person.
You're fucking with me. No, you said camera. Yes, I was like, oh my God, you're not the same person. The worst.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to grow up in the 80s? NES sitcoms and where's the beef ladies? Then you need to listen in your car or at work. Now it's time for Keith is a Jerk.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Keith is a Jerk. I am your host, Keith, and I'm joined, of course, by my co-host, Dave. What are you saying, Dave?
Yeah.
That sounds great. And we got Ryan back. What are you saying, Ryan?
I suggest you check yourself before you wreck yourself as a result.
I love it. That is a callback. I can't believe we finally hit callbacks. This is actually great because it's awkward, right? We're doing awkward moments tonight.
Yeah.
Amazing. All right. Well, let's just jump right into it. Awkward moments. Where do we want to start? Do we want to go back
I'll just be observing. I'll be observing this episode because
yeah, Ryan,
I've never really had an awkward moment. So
Dave and I didn't need to talk to each other to know that this was the Ryan show.
It's not that
we were both like, this is.
It's important.
We're just gonna sit back and watch.
I was telling Keith earlier that all the memories are log jammed because there's too many in my brain and they can't. There's a bottleneck. So I'm sure I'll be able to.
Burns with the diseases.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm kind of the same way. Yeah, I think I've killed a lot of those brain cells. I'm actually I'm a marksman when it comes to drinking and killing brain cells that I don't want to remember
so much.
Just the memory sniper.
But yeah, just a memory sniper, just taking away all that pain and just having the residual effects. Yeah.
Memory Sniper should probably be the title of your autobiography someday.
That's a really good band name, actually.
Or Manifesto, I guess, is more like it. Okay, well, fuck it then. I'll start. I had, I would say, I was trying to think of really awkward ones, and I've got a bunch. Obviously, we all do. But I'll start with one that was in I think it was grade 8. We were going over to, so it was me and my buddy, and we were going over to his girlfriend's house, and they just started dating. You know, they just started, and we're on the way over there, and we'd already had.
In grade 8, you're kind of doing stuff, right?
What's that?
You're kind of doing stuff. There's touching.
You care.
Yeah.
You know, you give a shit. You're trying to, you're trying to dress nicer, and I remember wearing my yellow polo shirt.
You're so official too. It's we're dating. That's when labels really, really started to resonate. Well,
dude, you've got the pressure on you now because you got grade 8 graduation, and you need a date. You know, he was locking this shit in.
Do you, Keith?
Well, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't need one. My dad pointed out that I just didn't have one, and that was fine.
I also, I believe, chose not to have a date as well.
Right.
Leave those
I'm
options
gonna
open.
fly solo, guys. I don't know about you, but no, you're all going with someone? Yeah? No, you're all aware I asked every girl out? Cool. Cool. I'm the guy who's showing up in the Corvette with my dad. No, the Corvette's not ours, and no, we won't be on time. So, anyway, summer grade 8, and I remember that was we'd had a bit of money, right? I think I talked about before about making the dirt bike money and stuff like that. And so we discovered Panzerotti.
I just want to throw it in there. You know you're white trash
Please.
when you refer to it as dirt bike money.
Yeah.
We're making that dirt bike money now, kids.
That's a good point, actually. That's true. So we discover Panzerottis, and they're not it's bad enough when you just bake a pizza and eat a whole pizza smashed together and call it a Panzerotti. But this place used to deep fry them as well.
Yeah.
So it turns out, as we found out on the way to my buddy's girlfriend's, that he is lactose intolerant and didn't know it. So he is in full panic mode. His stomach, we're walking outside and I can hear the gurgles.
Oh dear.
You know, it's bad enough that you just hear and I'm like, are you gonna die? I was and he's like, I
sounds
don't
like
know
a
what's
septic
wrong.
system.
It was so bad, an old creaky, when you hear in the movies, in the Titanic, when the metal is shifting. That's what it sounded like, you know what I mean? The bending metal at the mercy of the sea. Well, you know where you live.
Oh yeah,
yeah. You can barely
Also
see Ryan for all the
intolerant.
wavy action.
So we get to his girlfriend's house, and her dad lets us in. She, I guess, was a camp counselor or something like that for the summer, so she wasn't home yet. But he's like, yeah, you guys just go downstairs and hang out. and everything will be fine. She'll be home in a few minutes. So we go downstairs, and he's like, dude, I got to take a shit. And he's like, I don't want to do it, but he's got no choice. And I'm like, well, do it now. She's not home for like another half hour. You know what I mean? Like, it'll be fine. So he goes in, and it is exactly like a movie. He goes in, and you can fucking hear everything. I'm like, ooh. I'm like, this poor guy.
The Jeff Daniels in Dumb and Dumber.
It's really bad. And this poor guy, like, at this point, I feel so bad for him, because I'm like, man, we're in his girlfriend's house. Like, ooh. I'm telling him it's going to be okay, but I cannot promise.
You're
that
not
it's
basing
gonna
that
be
on
anywhere
anything.
near.
Yeah, no.
No. I'm lying to my friend. But I have hurt his stomach, and I know he's going to die. So he does it. He comes out, and it's awful. Like, it flushes. It's not one of those horror stories where it didn't like go down or anything, but it's bad, you know? So he comes out and he's like, oh my God, man. He's like, it was so bad. And it's a basement, so there's no window.
Yeah, that's
you
not
know what I
good.
mean? So I'm like, and he's like, is there
No
like a
fan.
candle anywhere? Like we're no. Well, I think there was, but I don't know if it wasn't working. I just remember it really wasn't doing anything. Regardless, she comes home right like that.
Right. Of
Like,
course,
that's when she
on
gets
cue.
home.
Her comic
And
timing was spot on.
Fucking, he's so scared. And yeah, it was great. You can hear him, and he's like, he's going through that moment of almost like, do you think there's any way that she's going to tell her dad about her whole day, and she'll be up there for another hour and a half, before she comes down? But sure enough, you start hearing the footsteps come down the stairs, and I'm like, it's fine, man. Don't worry. It's fine. Leave the door closed. I'm trying to help my friend. And what he does is goes, hey, sorry, Keith just took a wicked shit. And I was like, what?
Can I
He's like,
just
I am so.
God
he's
bless
like, I'm
him.
so sorry. He ruined it.
God
Huh?
bless him for the fast thinking.
I did everything to help my friend. I paid for the Panzerotti. These were on me. I had dirt bike money.
You paid for it financially and emotionally.
Oh, so it gets so much worse.
Okay.
So I'm like, yeah, just, I guess I did that. Like, I don't know, like, I'm sorry. And she's like, oh, it's okay. And she's trying to be nice. Like, she's sweet, but she's like, man, it's bad. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know how that happened. I guess it's whatever. And she goes, so then everything, I'm like, and I'm doing the thing where it's like, every time she's not looking, I'm doing
Staring right into
right
his
into
soul.
his fucking eyes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna knock the shit out of you when
You
this-
owe me
and
one
he's
doesn't really capture what I'm about to
No,
go through,
and
motherfucker.
if I'm gonna do where my camera is, he does this. He knows. He's like, he knows that he's either getting beat up, but he's like, what am I gonna do? Like, I gotta
Totally
get
worth
beat up
it. If
at
I'm
this
in his
point.
shoes,
Absolutely,
I would do the
I'm not
exact
blaming
same
him.
thing.
Yeah. So
There's a
here's where it
sports
gets
term,
worse.
heads up play. That's what he
That's
did.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're like, hey, what do you guys want to do? And my thing is like, let's just please get out of here. Like, let's just go anywhere. I'm like, can we just start fresh somewhere? So 2 seconds later, she's like, oh, well, she's like, yeah, we could go over and see blah, 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 her friend's name. I'm not going to say the names because these people exist and they're real world people. And and I'm like, that's a great idea. And my friend is like, he's like, yeah. He's like, that's cool. He's like, I know that I have a crush on her. And my friend is right. I do have a crush on her.
Oh,
and
boy.
I'm like, today's not the day I was hoping we'd go over. And she goes, oh, hold on. She's just next door. I'll call her. And I was like, or we all go over. I was like, how about we all go over? I was like, what do you mean call her? And so sure enough, she calls her. And my friend goes, yeah, I don't know if I feel like going out anyway. I was like, what? Sold me out. And now this girl comes over. She walks down the stairs, and I'm praying. I'm like, okay, it's been, it's the most disgusting thing. You've been in this moment now for what, 10, 15 minutes. I'm like, maybe it's just over. Maybe because I don't smell it anymore. It's bad.
You could be
And she walks downstairs.
desensitized at that point, though.
Yeah. That's a
And the thing the reason I had the crush on this girl, she's so super cool. Very she's like the Sarah Silverman of my age.
Yep.
She walks down, she's like, hey guys, what's going on? Holy, who took a shit? And I was like, and they both just point like I'm a leper
Oh,
in,
yeah.
1545. They just, Shame.
Oh, shame.
shame.
Ding.
Shame. And I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
And she was like, "Oh my God, why did you guys stay here?" And I'm like, "I don't know."
Are you still like buds with this guy? Because like,
I'm friends with the guy. Yeah.
are you?
Yeah.
Okay, because
Yeah.
this is the kind of shit I would do to my friends, and like I don't hang out with pretty much anybody anymore. It's because I'm that kind of
Yeah.
asshole. I dig it. I dig his style.
Well, his kind of asshole fucking unleashed hell. I'll tell you that. God damn. So that was like one of my first where I was like, oh my God, like it didn't get any better, you know? Like, and we left 5 minutes later. That's the best. I was like, was this just? I didn't even do it. Like, that's the worst part. And at any point I could have, and then I was like, then they're just gonna say I'm a liar,
Right.
you know?
And
The
then
girl's
you
gonna be
just
like,
look
nice
worse.
try, Keith.
No, it's a perfect. It's a perfect setup. It's great.
It was great.
Yeah.
It was great. And he kept it going for a while.
Of course he
like,
did.
a while. Yeah, like days. Like, you know, he apologized after. He's like, I'm so sorry. But next day at school, like, whatever her name is brings it up. And, you know, there's like this rumor around. Right now, I'm known as the guy who took the fucking devastating shit in this poor girl's house. And, her fucking dad, I guess, complained about it all night. That was the other thing. That was the other part about it. Like, I guess that was the part that I was like, okay, so this is probably a Saturday, you know what I mean? So Sunday goes by, Monday we're at school, and I'm like, fuck, man, people are gonna hear about this. And he even said, my buddy's like, he's like, I'll tell our friends, you know? And I was like, you fucking better. I'm like, it doesn't help me because it's not the girls that are gonna know. And so sure enough, we're at like, if you know, when everybody goes and hangs out, we had like a little just sit down area, right? And not even the cafeteria, but and so everybody's like, oh my God, what happened at what's her name's house? And they're like, yeah, man, we heard you took like a wicked shit. Her dad was complaining about it and everything for like all weekend. And my buddy goes, oh my God, yeah, it was bad. Just turned on me again.
Oh my God.
Just kept it going. He's like,
there's taking a punch for your friend, and then there's taking like a Street Fighter combo.
It's the best because Keith's right. There's no redemption. You can't just call him out in the middle of school in front of everybody too. You like,
nah, I had nothing left.
you just dig yourself into a deeper hole. I dig
And he's a good guy. I'm like, I don't want to publicly beat him up because now I look like a guy who took a shit and beat up my friend for trying to help me.
I definitely wasn't lactose intolerant, but like, it's funny you mentioned a couple of those scenarios. I had a good friend of mine, and this might have been like grade 10, grade 11, and he lived surprisingly, like we didn't really know each other growing up, but he lived around the corner from me, and I lived in my little townhouse projects. Great guy, tall guy. His name's actually I won't say his name, but he.
We need to start tagging these people in the video on Facebook.
Yeah.
Like,
anyway, he awesome, little bit of nerdy dude. Him and I always used to just play video games. He wasn't really into sports. He wasn't like he was a tall kid. He was athletic. He's probably strong as shit, but he's one of those guys that just didn't have a whole lot of confidence. So he was kind.
Oh, Ryan.
I've heard of them. I've heard of these people. It sounds awful.
Yeah, look, Ryan looks like a physical specimen. I bet you he sucks at basketball. Anyway,
No, he's pretty good.
yeah,
Thanks, buddy.
and.
Yeah, no problem.
So anyway, me and my friend, we used to spend our time, you know, getting Panzerottis. Like the summer we discovered Panzerottis. Oh my God! Like, I was
What fats do.
I was raised by wolves, so essentially by myself, and so I discovered Panzerottis. I have a little bit of extra cash lying around, so of course we're getting Panzerottis. We're gonna get like some treats like popsicles or like. What are the blue and white one rockets and things like that from the corner store is
those are
literally.
dope.
The corner store is like a 2-minute walk from my house, and then it's another 2-minute walk to his house, and there's a video game store in between that. So it was heaven for like a
One-stop
summer.
shop.
Unbelievable. Him and I did this for like,
2-minute walk for you guys though is hell. So
yeah.
keep going.
Well, for me,
For a couple little fatties, you know.
no, he wasn't. He's tall and
Oh,
lanky.
he wasn't fat, just you.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
You guys look like 10 walking down the road.
So him and I do this for about 2 weeks, and it's awesome, man. You go through the pineapple panzeratos, like
Of course.
you go through all of them, and what you don't know when you're a kid is you don't know why things happen in your body the way they're happening, and you're never told about diets. You're never told about like your friend being lactose intolerant. You're never told about
especially
anything.
in the 80s.
You're-
Nobody's telling you this
No,
shit.
well, you're not told as an 11, 12-year-old.
Bread was in a food group as if it was healthy.
Right. And so you're not told that if you eat bread and cheese day by day by day and no water and just pop and whatnot, shit
Mountain
happens.
Dew to chase it down, or Orange
Right.
Crush to chase it down. Like,
Not good. We're playing like hours of video games and eating nothing but junk like Contra. This was when I think Genesis had maybe just started coming out, so like there's really good games coming out at the time too.
Yeah.
So we're spending a lot of time, and he had a bathroom downstairs in his rec room. Same situation though. He's a kid. Why can't I think of the term? Fuck. So single kid. Only child.
Latchkey?
Only child.
Oh, okay.
So he's an only child.
tough
So he's he
Words are hard.
thank you. Thanks for helping me out there, guys.
No problem.
Anyway, so his parents are always checking in on us and like making sure we're having a good time. He's a bit of a mama's boy. It's all good. I have to take a dump. And what I don't realize is that for the last couple days, like because I've been in the privacy of my own home, like, yeah, things have been like not easy. And
Right.
and
Some challenging bowel movements, as they call it in the medical.
right, same
Bread and cheese coming back to haunt you.
right. And so this is imminent. This is happening. And I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, I'm just gonna go home. I'll be back in a bit. He's like, just use my washroom here. Like, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
I'm like, your parents are super nice. I don't like. I'm that kid. You know what I mean? I'm embarrassed to do it
yeah.
anywhere. And I'm like, this is my first real friend where I feel like comfortable to actually go to his house. And he's like, you know what? Use the damn toilet. Anyway, okay, so I use the toilet. Things did not go well from there. So first of all, around like the TV is about 5 feet in front of the couch where we're sitting. Behind that is a very thin kind of old vinyl siding wall. Like it's thin, like it's paper thin. And then the washroom is on the other side of that. It's got a little sliding door with a little beep boop hook that is the lock.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so
one of
it's,
those,
it's
So,
completely
like-
soundproof. Completely soundproof.
Yeah,
is what
there's
you're saying.
it is it
Yeah.
doesn't it's not
This is
going
like
well.
Dad has built the quickest toilet
Right,
in the
and
basement.
it's like I'm trying to because I don't usually do number twos in other people's houses. I'm trying to, when you're trying to really discreetly take a poo, like you might do a little shift so that you can try to.
You're basically trying to whisper with your asshole.
Yeah, exactly. You're trying to you're practicing complete
is-
control, like you're zenning. Like you're like Yoda reaching out a little bit and trying to control the speed of the dump coming out of your butt, like so that it's like slowly lays itself in the water like a warm tub. You know what I
That is
mean?
why you fail.
Now I'm picturing that little baby Yoda from Mandalorian, just like
Just, ooh. It's not like a free range. Anyway, long story short, it doesn't really go well for me because at this point I'm like, okay, that I feel so much better, but I'm still kind of like, I'm a little bit mortified. I'm like, let's just get this over with. Flush. And the thing won't move.
right.
A
it's-
little sad trombone comes up from the back of the toilet. Wah,
It
wah.
won't. It won't.
No, it's like the Price is Right.
It's just not moving. Like it's just like this is not designed to go into this toilet.
Oh.
And I grab a plunger and I try to make that work, and it won't.
Yeah.
Nothing is. This is.
And how old are you?
I'm like 11 or 12.
Yeah, you're not gonna know what to do in this situation.
No, we ended up coming up with a solution, and
We.
because I was mortified. I had to walk out.
again?
I walked out to my friend's basement.
Called a lifeline. You called a friend.
I called him and I'm like,
Oh, I want to see Regis Philbin sitting there. Like,
Are you
what do
sure?
you want to do?
Are you sure?
I'm like,
You got a 50-50.
I'm like, how strong is your toilet usually? He's like, it's fine. I'm like, it's not fine. This is
What a
a really weak
preposterous
toilet.
question. How strong is your toilet?
What are you gonna add? What do you say? I've never had an absolute log
How
jam.
much could your toilet bench? To be fair, Dave's 100% right. In the 80s, basement toilets were shite. All of my
And the best part is, you've said too, this kid is skinny. So his family is feeding him right. So his answer is right.
Well, he's been eating
like, it's
panzerotti
fine.
too, but
Like my regular size shit to go down there.
yeah, it's absolutely
It's
fine.
not used to your little huffalump
You'll-
fucking dumps that you're about to drop in there.
You'll notice, like, him and I ate the same thing, but what was noticeable was the metabolism levels, and
Right.
he probably
What a fat kid answer. Our metabolisms, guys, were...
genetic.
What Dave forgets is that he ate his whole Panzerotti. The other kid ate like a quarter and was like, oh my God. And Dave's like, well, I'll just finish it for
Yeah,
you.
fuck,
Yeah.
you're not throwing that out, are you? Anyway,
Also, let's grab a hunk of cheese and a loaf of bread and some cement.
So the next game I got to play was Operation, and this when you're in a friend's house and his mother's upstairs, and you're looking around like, I can't just leave this absolute Christmas cake sitting in her toilet. What do you do? And he's like, I'm like, what do I do? And he's like, I don't know. And so he looked down, and he picks up 2 popsicle sticks and goes, I got some gloves upstairs. 1 second. And he went and got me gloves, and I made sure that I was able to. The toilet started working again. That's all I can say. Anyway, that was awkward.
No, that's not all you're gonna say.
No, why? There's so much to unpack.
Where
there.
did you put it?
Can I just back up? 2 fucking popsicle sticks, like chopsticks. You're trying to like. There's better tools.
Was your friend Asian? Did he think that was the way to do this?
What else are you going to use? Like, you have a situation where you need to dissect something to make it flushable, and that was his solution. And at the
you
time,
were dissecting it. I thought you were removing it.
I thought you were pulling
no,
it out. Yeah.
no.
Okay,
I
no,
thought you were
that's
gonna, like,
good.
do a
That's
stick
good.
thing
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then just be like,
No, I played.
and then grab it. You know, like a little.
I was like a World War I army surgeon, where I was just on the field of battle, and just like, this has got to come off.
That's good.
This has got to
That's
come
good.
off. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I feel that now. Yeah.
And his mom came downstairs, and while I, in the middle of it, like, everybody, how you guys doing? Do you need anything? And thank God he was like, no, we're 100% good. Dave's just using the washroom, so if that's all right. Anyway, she's like,
watch it. I'm just trying to picture, like, my daughter's 10. If I just came downstairs and I saw her and her buddy in there just jabbing sticks into the fucking toilet,
Like a biology project.
I'd just be like, what have I done wrong? You know,
I
like,
couldn't
where
look
did-
her in the eye. We hung out there all, and every time she came down, I
couldn't look her in the pink eye.
and he just he laughed and made like I bet he would be able to remember that story instantly if I saw him. But he called me
wow,
popsicle
that's a
sticks
much
for
better
one.
friend than mine.
Yeah.
no,
No, he went
helped.
above and beyond.
and he made
That's-
fun of me
yeah.
as he rightfully should. But I couldn't look
No
his mom in the
fucking
eye for
kidding.
like the next 4 or 5 years after that.
Yeah, your friend went above and beyond. My friend went below and nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, like he
Fuck you, Mike. Why am I protecting Mike's name? I'm just realizing that now. Fuck you, Mike. Really great friend though. I love Mike, but fuck him. You know, that day.
And that's a fat kid awkward moment. And the worst part is that you get conditioned to him as you go, right? Like, because you're so jolly.
How did the rest of the day go?
Fine,
Just a little jala.
yeah. There's things that are going to happen that are awkward for you and not everybody else. But the rest, no, we played video
Did
games.
he do this one? Did he look at you like, it's okay, man?
No, he just laughed.
okay.
Anyway,
You know, it's like when, I used to have a friend who had like one leg. And so like we would know and like he'd be like, hey, no, I'm just going to take a minute, and we're like, it's all right. It's okay. You know what I mean? Like you're not going to call him out on it. Nobody's going to say anything. You're just
Way
like,
to
yeah.
connect those dots, Keith. Holy shit.
No, what? I'm saying
Okay.
because Dave's disability was being tremendously overweight and fat and gross. So his friend was doing the same situation.
and that continues.
Touche.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
All
using
right, Ryan, what do you got?
we're using a lot of
Can you
pat
please
tense.
also make it shit so that we have no female?
Well, listen, I thought that themed in well with yours.
Yeah, I'm fucking really grossed out.
I do have a poo story, but it looks like we are at like the 17-minute mark of nothing but poo stories. So I might
please, yeah.
diverge a
That'd be
little
great.
bit from the current narrative. I'll go
That'd be great.
chronologically different. Mine's recent,
Okay.
very recent. I committed an accidental racism.
Okay.
I went to a lovely holiday get together with some friends of my girlfriend's, and we went over to a couple's house. He's black, she's white, and they've got some kids together. So the kids are running around.
Keith,
And it's,
sure. Like, nice answer, Keith. Like, that's the thing. Sure.
Well, I'm just saying I get that I'm saying I understand it's going to be part of the story. You know what I mean?
No.
But now that's me saying.
Sure.
That's also
I'm
me
woke.
saying,
I'll allow it.
No, my point is, it's me saying this better be part of the story. And then I took a shit in their toilet. You know what I mean? And be like, there was no reason to mention that somebody was black. Anyway, sorry, continue. We get that you have a black friend. Continue.
Hey, good job, bud.
Friends of friends.
Yeah.
actually. But
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Of course.
Kids are running around, and like one of the young boys, I can't remember how old he is, but he was like crawling around on like a lazy boy chair, and like the seat, the footstool part is out, and like he kind of crawls around and like it goes back in, and you know what a lazy boy like? It's like a fucking guillotine with those like hinges and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And he's about to get his leg stopped, so I like grab him and pull him out of the way, and like I was like, oh, watch it there, buddy. It's like a raccoon trap. And then I tried to grab the words out of the air after I said them. Yeah.
What's a raccoon trap?
Oh boy, Keith.
Is that a thing?
I've always called it a raccoon trap. Like, what is the thing, the fucking thing that comes down on your leg?
A bear trap?
Is it a bear trap?
Yeah, those are bear traps.
Okay, well, if you had racist parents, that's a fucking raccoon trap.
I think you made this way more awkward than you needed to, bud.
He used a word that doesn't exist,
I'm just gonna drink this memory away.
which ended up making him a little bit more racist.
No, fuck
He's
off.
like,
There's
"Oh,
such
fuck, I
thing
don't
as a
wanna call this
raccoon
kid a
trap. I'm
bear."
gonna Google it. There has to be.
You're
such...
gonna have to, because I'm positive there isn't. Accidental racisms are fun.
They
It's
are.
actually it's layered because I feel awkward now because I might have made up a racist trap.
Because you thought you were in the right. Just
Oh, I never thought I was in the right. I didn't know I was this wrong.
That's awesome.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm Googling this. Keep in mind, I'm on a boat right now, so my Wi-Fi is not great.
yeah, that's helping you not sound
think
racist being on a giant houseboat in white.
I think Ryan and I, we
it
might be
is a
tied
thing.
for our accidental racisms.
All right,
Those are great.
Give
Yeah,
us
they
yours,
are
Dave.
really
Give
good.
us one of yours.
That should be a whole episode on its own.
It should be, because that's one of my most awkward moments in my life.
Totally a
Do you have
thing.
one that you can think of?
Totally
Oh,
a thing.
Is it?
Yep.
All right. Well, I'm actually gonna put the link on YouTube just so people can see it.
$99.99 at
this.
Rona right now if you'd like to pick one up.
Ooh, is it a white hood?
It's a lazy boy. What the fuck? No.
Oh.
Dave, give me your accidental racism, or at least one, please. Make me feel better. Please tell me you didn't make up a product in the process.
The worst part is that you get called out on these things, and it's just by friends. They're just like, "Hey, you know what you just said?" And they're like, "Oh my God." Keith knows of one that is just an absolute. When we were filming in the Kia Z, it was probably one of the all-time greats.
Oh, I was there. I
forgot all about this.
I wasn't there a lot, but I was there for
The
this.
Outsider.
Can you please?
Just a little bit. Okay, so if anybody doesn't know, yeah, we had a sketch comedy troupe. We worked for Funny or Die for a long time, and we ended up getting a TV show deal where we had a late night TV show.
Deal implies
called
money.
In the
Deal
Keys.
implies money, Keith.
Well, that's a fair point. Oh, there was money. It just wasn't ours.
You know what the worst part
Also
is?
fair.
Like, I still can't remember what their names are right now, the guys. Anyway, keep going on. Set it up.
Oh my God. Oh, these wonderful.
No, that's
people.
enough. That's enough
Okay.
prologue. Dave, take over. That's enough
That-
prologue.
Go ahead. Yeah, you go.
We were
ahead.
shooting a
I-
TV
I
show
prefer
is the prologue you need.
You set it up so lovely, Keith. Please.
Okay, so there were two gentlemen that we had that were incredible directors of photography, DPs. One is named Dave, and one is named Bowen.
Bowen. Yeah.
So Dave and his assistant.
Which I don't
Funny
know
how
why
you,
I can't
you couldn't remember that
name.
name.
Yeah, it's weird that you can't remember the name Dave. Dave.
I've been trying to forget it
And-
all my life.
Again with the memory assassin.
Yeah.
This one was right at the top of the pile.
All right.
So Dave and his assistant, both Asian men, and they did have their own little bit. They're Canadian dudes, and they have Canadian accents. But they would, when they were joking with each other, slip into their Asian characters, and it was a funny bit between the two that they would do.
And it's perfect. Yeah.
I'm not.
You know
going
what
to,
sucks? This being on YouTube is that I can look at myself and it's experience the shame that you're all experiencing just
Take
watching
the hat
me.
off. I want to see those
it's
eyes.
so
Take the
great.
goddamn hat off.
So it gets so much better. So we're filming with Dave and his buddy there, and they're doing this whole thing. And I'm not going to do the accent that they do, but they say camera, and they say it in a funny way. They're like, camera, you know what I mean? The camera, you know what I mean? Like they're joking around and they say it back and forth a bunch of times. Funny little bit that they were doing in between takes.
It's kind of rude. You know what? It is kind of rude that
Put this
they
on
can
them,
have,
Dave.
Yeah, you know that they're allowed to have.
Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead, Mike. Put it on the fucking friend who did nothing wrong, Mike.
Never mind.
So Bowen took a shit in your house, Mike? Is that what you're saying? So Dave had to step away, and we were lucky enough to get another incredible DP that came in named Bowen. Fucking incredible, both of them. Both Asian, just by coincidence. And so that day, Bowen is setting up to take some shots, and Dave, who's been at every single shoot, there's no like time lapse or we filmed in succession. There's no hiatus. This isn't in between seasons.
Yeah, this is not Breaking
this whole
Bad
thing
season 2.5 and
is-
2.
This is not. You're not waiting.
No.
In fact,
This
we
isn't
shoot
Rick and
about 8
Morty.
episodes a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes. So anyway, poor Bowen is setting up, and Dave comes up and
This is me that he's talking about.
Yeah, Dave. This Dave, racist Dave, is looking at Bowen and he goes, camera, and Bowen goes, what? Sorry, and he's like, like camera, and he keeps going. The best part is I recognize what's going on. And I say nothing. I give him the mic treatment. All you can see is my face go like this. And Bowen, poor Bowen, is amazing. He's like, yeah, it's a camera. Like, what is? And I fucking die laughing. Now, in Dave's defense, he wasn't being racist. He was being ignorant. There's a huge difference.
Oh, no.
Because his face, he goes, no,
Instantly, I realized
Okay.
that wasn't Dave.
I have a question.
Here's where it gets the.
Oh, no.
Wait,
Okay,
hold
go
on.
on,
Let me
go on,
just
go
get
on,
this
go on.
one
You're
part,
about
because
to
this
answer my
part makes-
question. 100%. Go on.
Bowen, this is why Bowen was my favorite person on fucking earth.
He was a machine.
Because I see Dave recognize that he's made a racism. Dave notices that he's now talking to Bowen and not Dave. He has just mistaken them because they're both Asian men.
Which is so incredibly racist at the core. Innocent, but so incredibly racist.
No, there's no fucking
If
innocent.
you're five, it's okay.
Right.
You know what I
as
mean?
a,
That's the only
as
age.
a 30-something-year-old man, this is unacceptable behavior, and I realized it almost instantly.
A man of the world.
He did. And here's where it gets great. So Dave goes, and as he does it, I start laughing. And Bowen is so fucking quick. He goes like this. And starts recording. And he starts taking snap photos of all of Dave's expressions of realizing he was racist.
Oh, man.
Like a flip book. A fucking animated
Oh,
flip
it's
Yeah.
so great. And I still to this day say that Dave did something because Bowen could not find those pictures. I was going to blow them up like 20 feet by 20 feet. I was going to pay like $3,000 a photo and deliver to these Dave on his wedding. I wanted the 3 moments of racism. And just I would have them plastered over
Just
my house.
watching my soul leave my body. It was just the worst feeling ever. So awkward. Again,
It was fucking incredible.
2 of the
I
nicest
believe-
guys ever.
Oh,
and
all 3 of them. All 3 of these guys are the nicest guys
just
you've ever
have
met.
my head down, not paying attention, decided to throw in a little bit of an accent in there and look at
A little bit.
Yeah, you went right for it.
Yeah.
I forgot about it. There's a B story to this. Poor Saffron, sweet and innocent, is sitting off to the side,
Yeah.
and I start laughing, and Saffron goes, "Wait, what?" And then she looks over and she hears Dave. I'm already laughing, and Dave goes, "No, like camera," and Saffron goes, "Oh!" And like audibly, like it was so loud. And that's when Dave realized that it wasn't the same
wasn't
Asian
the
man that he'd
Asian
been
guy.
dealing with.
oh,
That's love.
Oh God, that was great. I forget that is a fucking incredible awkward
it's
moment.
one of
I was
one of the
not on the set
worst.
of KZ a lot. I was on there like 5 days. That was one of the days, and I was so fucking just blessed.
It made it worth coming back, right?
Yeah.
It was incredible. So
I wanted to
incredible.
crawl into the biggest fucking hole and die.
Oh, well, like we talked about earlier, the heads up play by Bowen to start recording to get the
Genius.
reaction
Like
is
so
he proved his
fucking
genius
genius.
throughout the rest of the shoot too. And
Yeah.
uh
Yeah, he had every right to beat the shit out of you.
yeah.
and just took it in stride and was like, that's fine, you know.
And
What
not
are you
a,
gonna do?
and like for that reaction to not know a single thing about what I was talking about, the fact that Dave and I'm sorry, who was Dave working with?
Oh shit, I do forget Dave's assistant's name.
Yeah. Anyway,
I don't remember off the top of my head.
I think
I'd
you
have to
said
look
it
up.
on the
Sorry,
top.
I forget.
You
I
might have said it on
apologize.
the
Yeah,
top.
anyway,
anyway,
it was just
great guys.
great guys, and then just I'm just an idiot. Fuck, that was bad.
It was incredible.
There's no worse feeling.
That was, I believe it was around my birthday, and I was like, I'm never going to get a greater gift than that ever.
No.
Like, thank you.
And there's no
Thank
way
you,
I could
Dave.
ever feel like ever good at anything I was doing on that set again. You know what I mean? Like, like, can I get anybody a glass of water? I'm a piece of shit. How's it going? I just,
The best part is I think you had to cry in the episode we were filming that day, and I was like, finally,
Yep.
going to get some fucking real acting out of Dave. This is great.
Time to channel some shit. Method
Should
acting.
be no problem today. Just bring Bowen on set and just have him look over. Be like, oh my God, that's fucking, I forgot. That was one of the best.
I've
never-
heard that's
it's the
what
worst
Daniel
when you've
Day-Lewis
met
will
someone-
do. He'll like insult a crew member racially, and that's how he's able to bring out all these emotions.
it's the worst when you meet someone for the first time and then forever in his life you're like, hey, there's that racist asshole guy. Like, there's
Yeah,
nothing
it's
I
not
could
like
ever
we
do.
used
Same
Bowen
like
again
Keith.
on
Like it's
multiple
like
projects that you
it's
could
like
redeem
Keith try-
yourself.
Keith trying to pass that back off. That was his friend's shit. I could never, like, you know what? 364 days of the year, I'm usually a really nice guy. Sorry you caught me on it.
It doesn't matter. That's the best thing you can say to a being racist by accident. I'm a really nice guy. Guys, I'm a really nice guy.
364 days. It's like the purge. Dave gets
Yeah.
one day.
The racist purge.
No, that was the worst. That was absolutely still the
idea.
worst that I could.
It was great. I loved it.
It's one of those things you think of like probably every other day. You know what I mean? Just like sends a shiver
When you're in bed,
down
you're just
your
about to
spine.
get asleep, and then it pops into your head just to
Right.
jar you awake. Yeah, yeah.
There's a couple little Asian girls in my daughter's class, and every time I see them, I was like, "Oh, hi," and I feel weird walking by them.
Overcompensate.
Yeah, just overcompensating with every Asian person
Hey, how's
I
it
meet.
going? You want like $70?
Yeah,
I got
yeah.
$70 in my here. Have $70.
Or
do
you're
that.
overusing their names. Hi, Karen. Good to see you today, Karen. You look lovely, Karen.
I have to do that shit. Yeah.
She's like, my name is Ling. And you're like, oh, fuck. Karen's the other one. Damn it. She just starts going. Oh, fuck.
The worst.
So in terms
Oh,
of
what else
awkward
do we got?
moments, maybe you guys can share this pain with me. I am total dog shit when it comes to
We know.
most things. Remembering people's names. I'm
terrible.
very, very well, as we dovetailing off what just Dave did, not nearly as bad. But apparently, I met this girl 3 times, and I forgot her on 3 separate occasions. And because here's the thing, like, I'm a drinker. Sometimes I'll have more than the one that I'm having here, and so I met this girl. She's a friend of a friend at like a party, and Ryan was 3 sheets to the wind at that point. Didn't remember the next day. And then I met her after. She's like, "Oh, you know what? You had a few drinks last night. That's cool. You know, I'm so and so's friend. Cool."
Sorry, is the next night you met her?
Like
Again.
not long after that.
Okay.
Then it happens
Okay.
again. It's like a house party. I meet this person again for the first time, and it's like I'm fucking Guy Pearson Memento
Yeah.
with no tattoos or notes to save myself. And then
Oh.
just for a hat trick happens a fucking 3rd time. And after the 3rd time, I don't. These are all details I don't have. That's why the story's kind of lapsed. But I run into this girl in a fucking Tim Hortons, like lineup, and it's off the highway.
About
So
as
it's
Canadian as it gets.
yeah, it's a big old lineup too. It's right off the highway. And she's like, "Oh, hey, Ryan," and I'm like, "Eh." And she looks at me like right in the face. She's like, "You don't fucking remember me, do you?" And I'm like, "Oh." And she looks at me and she's like, "You've forgotten who I am 3 fucking times." And I'm like, "Oh, give us a hint." And then she's like, "No, we're not doing this again." And then she turns around in line and like just completely shuts me out. And I want to get it. This is a big fucking line. Like neither of us are going anywhere for a while.
And you're staying in it. I would have
Yeah, no,
immediately just been like, well, no
I
coffee.
whatever I
honestly,
ordered
like,
was-
she
I
kept
was-
she would
that's
shoulder
fine.
check me a few times, just. And I'm standing like, eventually I wait for her to like look for it again, and then I just kind of like slunk out of line and like went to the gas station next door and got a Red Bull instead of a coffee. But I was, oh god,
Oh,
yeah,
fuck.
I'm bad at that.
Okay, so
I worked
real quick to that because I don't even. Oh, go ahead.
I worked in the food service industry for a long, long time, and
Yeah.
dude, I am right there with you, Ryan. There are people
Yeah,
that
I'm the same.
have been in and out of my life so many times there, and they're like, they know me, like, Dave, how's it going? I'm like, hey, you become a ninja at it. Be like, hey man, what's going on? It's good to see you. Like all the generic,
up, champ?
yeah,
Yeah.
without using
See,
buddy
I can
and
remember
guy.
other things. It's like if I was the guy who's like, "Oh, hey, Cowboys fan" or whatever. Like, I'll remember something.
what?
Not
this,
me.
This girl was a blank
Not
slate
me.
every time. It was like an etch a sketch.
The
Like, I
problem
had
is-
nothing.
record is saying-
nothing.
Now, okay, you did have 3 chances, so it's a lot.
Yeah, it's
but
too many.
I'll go on record. Fuck those people who try to make you remember.
Yeah,
Fuck you.
that's
You
true.
know what I mean? There's no reason. You don't have to do that.
No,
Don't
I-
judge my
It's not
drinking.
necessary.
I am not gonna.
Exactly. I agree with Keith. Stop judging my drinking.
Yeah.
Um,
I will introduce
will
myself
just-
all the time to people, being like, "Hey, how's it going, Dave Thompson?" Like, yeah,
Yeah.
I've been your neighbor for 10 years. You know what I mean?
yeah, we dated for a year and a half, Dave. So just real quick, that reminded me of one. I went to a gas station, and this is probably, I'm like, I don't know, 17. Like you're poor, right? Like it's like when you don't have enough for gas.
Yeah. You're
You
putting
know,
in
and you're like,
$7.
Exactly. So I'm like, okay, how do I go in? I can see that there's like this attractive girl like working behind the thing, and this is like before I even have like a bank card that can do this. I got cash, and I have $3.80 on me, and I'm like, can I put $3.80? I have to, because I have to get to work and
Yeah.
then home, and like that's all I'm gonna do. So I'm like, okay, I got it. So I go into the thing, and the worst part is I don't want to go over, so I have to give her
Oh, yeah,
money ahead
you're-
of time so she can pre-do it,
Yeah.
right? And so I go in and I was like, and I always do this when I lie. This is why I don't lie, because I make up way elaborate stories and they're fucking ridiculous and they don't make sense. And I was like, yeah, I borrowed my buddy's car and I fucking didn't tell him I was taking it, so I got to put exactly the right amount of gas in there. So if I could just get 380 on the pump, that would be awesome. And she goes,
Because the fuel gauge in the car displays in prices instead of volume.
That's right. Yeah, because I'm stupid. And it gets better because she goes, Keith, you've given me a ride to school. Like, I've been in your car. And I'm like, yeah. Oh, fucking.
Oh, God. She made you and your car.
Yeah, I didn't know who this girl was. I was like, that's the worst part. It's just a friend of a friend, that lives close by, and I have given her a lift.
I'll tell you a dating one.
This is the fellowship of the Ryan. We'll get to the 2 Ryans after this.
Yeah.
Lord of the Rye. I love it.
There's one that I didn't tell on the dating podcast because, again, we only had so much time. But I was on a date with a girl, and I guess her thing, she'd been with some male sluts before. So, I mean, it's a bit crass to ask the question on the first date, like, how many people have you been with? But she did.
Yeah.
You never do.
Okay.
You just don't.
She did.
Yeah, I don't want to ever know any numbers.
No, well, guys never ask, but she asked, and she was
It's
adamant.
not my business.
Yeah, she was with some male sluts and stuff like that, and she's like, well, to be honest, I've been with some guys who've been with 3 figures, and she kind of looks, she's like, have you been with 3 figures? And I'm like, well, yeah, just because I use a decimal and 2 zeros like it's currency. Which I think is a funny fucking joke. She
Right,
did not. Oh, you guys can play a gig sometimes and know when you lost the crowd. That's when I lost her immediately, and it was just, there's another 45 minutes of just the most forced, awful fucking small talk ever after that. I thought it was a good joke.
I think it's a great joke. Fuck her.
Thank you.
It's fine. Yeah.
She doesn't know
So
funny.
A bunch of people did.
She obviously was looking for someone with a little bit more game, but
Yeah, I guess.
I don't
She
know.
was just really only into guys with 3 digits.
she sucks.
Good lord. You'd be like, I can try and fit them all in, but that's
Was she talking about fingers?
Good
Because you
Lord.
got that beat, buddy.
lord. Camera? So I'm gonna jump in with the first time that my wife met my dad.
Oh, God in
pretty
heaven, you
great.
have my undivided attention.
it's as good as it sounds.
It's like
So
every
we
time
worked in a
Keith tells a
restaurant.
story about his dad, it's like a Stan Marsh episode of South Park. I love it so much. Like it's just
It's exactly who he is. It's even better because he's very Stan Marsh in this. So we used to work at a bar, and so we would go and just hang out at my place after or whatever. It's admittedly it's late. It's like probably midnight, 1 a.m.
This
And,
is a no
we're
pants
just-
story. This is a no pants story.
It sure is. And so, and we're just hanging out in the kitchen, and I think I just maybe gone pee or something, you know what I mean? So Angie's left alone in my kitchen, and just hearing, down the stairs, you hear the like just coming out as he's coming down the stairs, like just the extra pushes. So this poor girl is just like, oh, okay. And so she's sitting in the dining room table. My dad just walks into the kitchen, opening up the fridge and just like chugging like something, milk or something.
Yeah, it was-
you know what I mean? Just a gallon of milk, just letting it go. Now here's the picture I'm gonna paint for you. So he opens the fridge door, so you get this beautiful angelic light all over my dad's greasy, cherub-like body, and he's wearing nothing but a pair of tidy whities.
God damn it.
That are
We have the exact
purple
same
paisley.
upbringing, man. It's unbelievable.
Purple paisley tidy whities, like these, and he's had them forever. Like I didn't meet Angie until we were 21, and my dad has always had them. Those are 20-year-old underwear, and the best part is I know this because he told me where he got them. They were from an ex-girlfriend, and he just loves those underwear so much. He got them before he met my mom. I'm like, I'm 21. These are at least 22-year-old underwear, and they've had their day.
They're just existing like a
there's-
hologram at this point. There's no matter left. There's no atoms or like.
It's like an onion skin, like it's just like it's barely there. It's just, and then so my dad does this, fucking as my dad does, just like just more, you know what I mean? Close the fridge. And, oh, hey, Marcus Cooper just goes over, fucking extends the hand, and I can hear it. You know what I mean? I'm like, no. I'm like, no,
Yes.
no. And I run down, sure, and I wish I could. He's just got the leg up, you know what I mean? Like, so it seems like everything's got, like a ball is probably out, like just fucking airing some stuff out, God bless Angie. She's just like, oh, okay, just trying to be polite and look anywhere else except this fucking dangling nut that's swaying side to side.
Okay, we've already
And
talked on the dating podcast about Bob's Tool Lobster being a test. What you put her through was a test.
Yeah.
That's a
Okay, here's
soulmate
part 2 to
challenge.
the test. Fuck it, we're going. I'll give you part 2 that I forgot about until she reminded me. So, cut to, I don't know, a couple weeks later, we're dating. Everything's going great. I can't fucking believe she's still hanging around. She spends the night, and I'm in the basement, and she wakes me up at like 8, and she is terrified. And I was like, oh, fuck, what's wrong? And she's like, I think your parents are getting a divorce. And I was like, what? And I'm like, fuck, what? Like, I'm just waking up. And I listen, and I just hear, fucking cunt, cock, sucking, bam, smash. And I'm like, oh, fuck, no, it's fine. Just go back to bed. And I just roll back over. And she's like, oh, my God, what? And I was like, no, this is fine. We're going to have bacon soon. Don't worry.
Keith is like,
It's just
this
bacon
is
fights.
like a 6 out of 10. Don't worry about it. Like, fuck.
This is just bacon fights.
Yeah.
This is just bacon fights. This is how it starts. This is how we get breakfast on Sundays. I was like, I can smell the bacon. It started. And so we're sitting there, and it's just going on, and it's not stopping. So finally, I'm like, motherfuck, now I got to deal with this. So I go upstairs, and the best image ever. I'm like, just come with me. And she's like, are you sure? And I'm like, what else is going to happen? I was like, we're in the fire. There's no reason to look around. Turns out I was wrong. We got up into the kitchen. The oven door was off. So it was laying in the middle of the kitchen. Here's the best part. I was right. I was getting bacon. There was still bacon cooking inside the oven without a door on it. So I'm just
Not
like,
efficiently. Not the most efficient way
yeah,
to cook.
no, God, fucking, that's my family's motto is not efficiently. And so we had bacon, and my dad spent the next like Angie and I trying to eat bacon because we're just pretending that this hasn't happened. You know, like my parents, oh, good, you had a friend sleep over. That's awesome. Okay, everything's good. My mom's just fucking crying or whatever off on the side. And have bacon, guys, have bacon. Just sit down and fucking probably burning her hands, getting the bacon out, pretending everything's
Happy
okay.
family. Happy family.
Yeah,
Happy family.
And so then my dad does the, hey, yeah, just had a little stupid thing, always does this. He tries to play it off like it's a fucking bad lock on a door. So he's like, yeah. And then he casually, so this is how he starts, right? Like, hey, just always, oh God, the door just, get the fuck on my fucking, and he starts kicking the fucking oven stove. So he starts out trying to smooth things over and gets into a much crazier level by doing so. So that was when Angie and I had bacon for the first time.
That's so great. That's so
Yeah.
great. We have the
Still
same
stuck
upbringing.
around.
Man.
Not
I had a
since.
girl
Not
over
since.
at my dad's house, and I won't go into that much, but exact same scenario. She went. I went. There's a bathroom around the corner, and there's a cutaway where you can see into the kitchen. Same thing. The glow comes up. She comes out of the bathroom. I'm just like getting a bed set up downstairs, and there's my dad just in the light of the fridge in his tidy whities, and he has to bend down to look into the bottom level, and he's like,
Oh, even
oh,
better.
hey, how's it going? Oh,
What a
hey."
showcase.
That-
What a
that was-
showcase.
That was my dad. The most.
At least he had that much shape.
Oh, it was great. Like, because that's the only time you actually saw my dad actually have energy was like those embarrassing
Right.
moments where it's like, oh, hey, how's it going? Yep.
No
nope.
embarrassment from my dad. My dad was like, no, it's the ball out hour. Let's do this.
Fuck her for being here.
Yeah.
Into the gauntlet.
Oh, sweet Jesus. Yeah. Ryan, what else you got?
Oh, I don't have any of those. I feel a bit out of place.
Loved?
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I feel a bit loved.
Yeah. No, my parents cared and respected about me.
Well, I can tell another girl one.
I think this
forgive me,
definitely
you
has
can
to be a
cut
part
this out.
2. Yeah, we'll do a couple 30-minute ones. Part 2 for Ryan.
Yeah. Please continue. Whenever he says you can cut this out, I know it's a great story. So
Well,
go.
it's not even about this. Just I think I might have told this on another one. I'm not sure if it's one that we never put to air or whatever. But so college Ryan, not a confident Ryan, unlike today's Ryan. But I decide I'm gonna step out of myself a little bit, and there's an attractive girl at the bus stop who's in a few classes. I'm gonna go up and attempt a conversation with a female of the species, which is widely
Always-
out of my depth.
Yeah, it's always a mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially in this case. So I go up to her and I start talking to her, and like she knows who I am. We're in the same classes, and we just start with the most ridiculous small talk. It's like, oh, it's kind of cold out here, and I go, yeah, fucking El Nino, and like I just replay that in my head about saying fucking El Nino.
Sorry, what did you say?
Fucking El Nino, the weather system that comes in,
yeah.
and like.
Was she Mexican? Did you do a date? Because that would be amazing.
So
Or, like-
I survived that in my own head, and like we sit next to each other on the bus and we start. I don't even remember what we were talking about, but I just remember.
Hold on. I just need clarification. Oh, did we lose Ryan?
No, I'm
Oh,
still
there
here. Yep, I have 10% left on my phone, so let me get this one out.
Okay. Did you sit together or did you sit next to her? Because there's a difference.
Well, the seat behind her reaching over is together, right?
Yes, that counts. Okay.
So the third time
Continue.
you saw her, did she try to introduce herself to you again?
Okay, so you're on the bus. You're together.
Yeah, she would remember this part, believe me. So we're talking about whatever. I can't remember what it was, but like, I just look at her and it's just this look of horror in her eyes. And I have no idea why. I didn't think I said anything particularly stupid or anything. And I just like, okay. And then I do kind of one of these, and just because it's the middle of winter, red streak all across my. And then I like look at her and just like a faucet and I never get nosebleeds ever. And I just like honestly, I start pouring blood out of my face, like God just fucking with me, like
Which is exactly what a guy who gets nosebleeds all the time would say to a
yeah, and
baby girl.
exactly. I'm like, there's no recovery. I've written it all off at this point. I just want to get through the moment. So she goes to
Are you still trying to just have a regular
no,
conversation?
no. I'm in.
The fucking El Nino, right?
Yeah.
And just like,
Oh yeah, I'm trying to write my phone number in blood for her.
yeah,
So
here's my
she
number. 705.
she was super sweet. So she goes to the front of the bus to try and get me some Kleenex to deal with this faucet.
Holy shit.
She
That's
comes
way
back.
too nice
She's
already.
I know she's a saint, and she comes back and she's like, the bus driver says he didn't have any Kleenex, but he gave me a bunch of transfers, and like hands me all of these like transfers, and they're like sort of laminated. So it's just making shit worse. I look like the Phantom of the Opera, which is with fucking blood all over the side of my goddamn face.
Oh my god, that's
And
so great.
I think the moral of the
indignant. That's
story
great.
is I got off like
so Ryan.
18 blocks before my stop just to fucking separate.
You
my-
were fine. You had all those transfers. You didn't have to.
Yeah, you're riding for free for the rest
They
of
were
the
they
day.
were not good anymore. They were not good anymore.
I wish you did. Yes, I believe this is on
And
you.
to the mall, please.
How many hobos did you kill for these transfers?
I agree. Yeah, that'll be the next week. All right. Well, let's pick it up there. Thank you very much, everybody. That was amazing.
Sorry. I'm sorry,
Sorry.
Yeah. No, it's so great. I
Bowen. I'm
hope
not
people
apologizing
stuck
to you.
through
I'm
the
apologizing to
shit
Bowen.
Right.
Still, to this day, if you're any chance he
Oh my
hears this.
God.
I really hope.
All right,
I hope
everybody,
you.
find us on all the socials.
I hope David sends a Facebook apology to the wrong person. On.
Holy fuck! How great would that be? He sends it to Kenny, the guy that I work with at Jamfil, that I was talking to, that I worked with before.
Oh, the pie guy.
Fucking sends Bowen a thing, yeah, like, you stole my pie, and Bowen can be like, what? Like, that's fucking weird. Amazing. All right, everybody, that's gonna wrap it up. We will see you next week for more awkward moments. Sounds great. Thank you so much, everybody. Camera. Bye-bye.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to grow up in the 80s? NES sitcoms and where's the beef ladies? Then you need to listen in your car or at work.